Chuck Castor. How's everybody doing? I think most people know who I am. This Kingdom Marketplace Fellowship is something I'm going to talk a little bit about here before I introduce Apostle Faithman. And it's something that's been on my heart for a while as far as just the marketplace and what goes on in the marketplace, and maybe an anointing somehow where, you know, what you do in the marketplace does matter, because there's people in the marketplace. It's where there's a lot of people. And there's also some scripturally sound rules for how things do work in the business world that I'm learning. There's a lot of things I know from the first half of my life that maybe I didn't do so well. So this is something that as I learn and I get a little bit of wisdom and a little more wisdom, it's something that's become a passion for me on my heart, and something that Apostle Faithman and I chatted about briefly, and we've been talking about for a year. And so basically what the Kingdom Marketplace Fellowship is, it's a once a month meeting we're going to have. And the objective is for networking. It's also about learning. It's about mentorship. There's some things that Apostle Faithman actually was talking to me about last year. And we actually had some team Zooms for some of my business people, and they were amazing. His insights into scripturally sound business principles and things that work. I've heard a lot of different business principles. They were amazing. So we're blessed to have him here today to share that. And like I said, there's people in the marketplace. So I think we're charged with being a light on the hill for people. And so for us to be a reflection, this is a great forum to come to so that we can understand kind of our responsibilities as we do go to the marketplace, because there's a lot of people there. And God knows how to bait the hook with someone that also might not just need good business knowledge or something that we're dealing with in business, but a reflection of who God is through how we conduct ourselves. And he works in amazing ways. So the marketplace is a big place. And a couple of things in your own personal life, I think we can improve your supply. I think we can improve the peace that you have within yourself as you go about trying to take care of yourself and your family and being prosperous, which is what God designed us to do. And also just relations. I mean, it's all about relations with people, and we're all God's children. So it gives us a great format for how we can maybe interact with people when we don't quite feel like interacting that way. And I know I'm guilty of that a lot. And this has helped me a lot to understand what my responsibility is for the people he places in front of me. And, you know, there was something we did on Zoom Church yesterday. And just to let everybody know, if you haven't been on Zoom Church, every Sunday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there's a Zoom Church that we have. And it goes to the world. And Apostle Faithman gives about an hour a service, and it's in 113 countries right now. We would love to have you there also. But we talked about something yesterday called Operation Damage, which I absolutely loved. And it just came from something that Apostle was talking about very organically in the conversation. And basically, what it was let me kind of read to you. Operation Damage is the main objective of Kingdom Marketplace Fellowship. Well, damaging limited supply in yourself and personally, and also if you don't have a supply, are you really a reflection for what God wants to do through you to other people? Damage poverty mindset. We want to damage lack of kingdom advancement and principles that we have that actually propagate that advancement. We want to damage self-doubt. We want to damage words that speak death. We want to damage anything that tries to prohibit kingdom advancement and fulfillment of our God-given destinies of what he planted in us. So I think this is a great forum once a month to meet, bounce some ideas off each other, learn from Apostle Faithman. He's been a great mentor to me, scripturally, business-wise, as a friend. His biblical principles in business really were amazing. I had an opportunity to sit through 4 classes with him. And so we're very fortunate to have Apostle Faithman here to pour into us. So Apostle Faithman, with that, we look forward to hearing from you.
This is our first meeting, and I believe it's going to take you to greater heights in business. Our vision is to ensure that you rise beyond limitation, you do the impossible, you become strategic with purpose, and you have a business on the cutting edge. You know, there are businesses that are trying to survive. We don't want to try to survive. We want to take the lead. We want to make a difference. We want to build bigger corporation, great organization, take the lead, increase, reduce labor market, what is going on in the labor market, run organizations from a perspective where we can enjoy supernatural assistance. So today is our first fellowship. I want to say thank you to all our coordinators, all those that ensure that the Kingdom Marketplace starts today. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, all our team members, for ensuring that this become a reality. Today, we'll be talking about developing professional business attitude. That's what we're looking at today. Developing professional business attitude. You know, every great organization is known for her attitude. Our attitude as business owners have the potential to decide our products, the life of our product and service. I want to say that again. Today we're discussing developing professional business attitude. There is what is called professional business attitude. Attitude that attracts, attitude that empowers, attitude that multiplies, an attitude that inspires. As a business owner, as someone who runs an organization, your attitude is the image of your corporation. When we're looking at your organization, one of the first things we'll look at is your attitude, because your attitude will help us to determine the life of your products. You know, I can be telling you something right now, but if I don't have the attitude to convey what I'm telling you, there's going to be some question, there's going to be some doubt. So attitude help in determining the life of a product or the life of service. As a business owner, your attitude has a lot to do with the life of your organization. Having a great product does not equal great sales. And this is why you see people with so many great products and great skills, but there is less demand on their potential. Because when they get into the opportunity, they don't have attitude for transaction. There is an attitude for transaction, for people to be able to buy from you, for people to be able to relate with you. Your attitude is considered first as the major resources. Your attitude is considered first as the major resources of building a cutting-edge business. Your attitude is the major resources. You're either going to keep the clients or lose the clients based on your attitude. You know, you can give me a phone call right now, and my tone represents my attitude. My tone on the phone call represents my attitude. And I can have an attitude that welcomes the client, or welcomes the customer, or welcomes the potential buyer, or my attitude can send a wrong message to the buyer or to the client. Already I have a great product. Already I have a great service. But my attitude is not professional enough to establish the deal or the transaction. So developing or cultivating a professional attitude is the foundation of business transaction. Because sometimes people look at you, and what they're looking at for is not just the product or the service, they are looking at your attitude. People go through a lot of rejection and humiliation and opposition in life. So when they come in contact with you, they want to know, how will you be able to help my esteem? If I'm to buy this product with you, how did you welcome me? How did you welcome me into your marketplace? How did you welcome me into your business place? What was her attitude? What was her response? What was his response? They just lost a major client because the wife was rude. They just lost a major client because the staff was rude on the phone. You see, your attitude has to be professional and not personal. It has to be professional. Why should it be professional? Because you're in business and you stay in business based on attitude. There are those that ought to have been rich right now, or to have been very successful right now, but they didn't have the attitude that could keep the potential clients in the business. They didn't have the attitude that could keep the customers. They keep losing people, and people are your major resources. I want to say that again. I said, people are your major resources. Your major resources is not a chemical. Your major resources is not the products. Your major resources in business is people. Your ability to network and connect with people will determine the longevity of your business. You see, I said people are your greatest resources in business. People are your greatest resources. So if I don't handle them based on right attitude, I'm going to lose them. So there are things I want us to consider today. The first thing I want us to consider is your attitude represents the image of your organization or the image of your company. Either your organization or your company, whatever organization you work for or you run a company, your image represents that company. So when people are looking at that company, they are considering image. Yeah, because what reputation do they have? Because reputation is a product of attitude. I want to say that again. I said reputation is a product of attitude. What is the image of that organization? So people want to do a major business transaction. This transaction involves millions of dollars or millions of pounds. But the major thing we're looking at, we're considering integrity. What is their credibility? What is their integrity? How consistent have they been when it comes to their attitude? Are they a company that walk away? Or there are people that easily give up when things are not working out according to the expectation. So your attitude represents the image of your company or your organization. Number two, your attitude either determines the life of the product or the life of the service. Our attitude will either determine the life of the product or the life of the service. The life of the product or the life of the service will be determined by our attitude. You know, for the first time when you meet someone, there is how you will feel about them. Is it that I'm coming back to that place, I'm going back to that business place, or I will never go back there again. I've been to places where I said I will never go back there again. I have this supermarket in my city where I buy bread from, buy some groceries from that supermarket every week. So one day we bought a bread from them and the bread was bad. So I complained to them. I went back to them and said, the bread you guys sold to us was a very bad bread. The taste was not very good. And they said, okay, you can return the bread. So we decided to return some of the bread only for we to get there. And they told me they're not going to take the bread. Wow. But you told me to return back the bread. You see, what happened here was they were not able to live up to their expectation. Then I said, I will never go back there again. You see, sometimes you lose your clients because of your inability to have the right reputation to represent your organization or your business in the hearts of people. You may have a great product, you may have a great service, but if you have a poor attitude, your sales will be slow, your sales will be low. Why? Because you don't have the attitude to run the place. That is why business is shut down. Most of the businesses that shut down sometimes may not be because of bankruptcy, sometimes the CEO's attitude. She's so harsh. He's so harsh. He's talked to people anyhow. She doesn't care about people. She doesn't care. He doesn't care about people. He just said whatever he wants to say. And that could affect the image of sales. That could affect the image of people that wants to patronize that organization. So your attitude, developing a corporate attitude, you're welcome. They say the customer is always right. They say the customer is the boss. They say the client is the boss. So you run the business, but the customer is the boss. The client is the boss because you are in business because of people. You are not in business just because of yourself. When you take people out of the business, there is this client or this customer has a lot to do with your business. So if I pick the phone and my tune on the phone is not consistent with my corporate image, it has a negative effect on my organization. So how you pick the call has a lot to say if the client is going to buy. People don't know this. I like her voice on the phone. I like the way he spoke. I like the way he spoke to me on the phone. I enjoyed the conversation. They were not willing to buy in the first place, but because of your attitude towards them in the conversation, they said they're going to buy. Why are they going to buy? They're not just buying products, they're buying attitude. So sometimes people want to buy attitude, not just products. You have the beautiful product, you have the beautiful service. The same product you offer, other organizations offer the same products. There are products you may be offering right now, or the business services you may be offering right now. And there are other organizations that offers the same thing. So what is going to be your edge? Your edge will come from your attitude. There is what is called organizational behavior. Organizational behavior, when we look at how the behavior of organizations, how organizations behave, how do they respond? How do they respond when it comes to creation of products or services? So your image will determine the life of your product. People buy into your attitude. People buy into your attitude. Or people can decide not to buy based on attitude. They buy into your attitude. Whether it's business, whether it's ministry, whatever it is you're doing, people buy into your attitude. You see, your attitude actually is what people see before they see your products. Sometimes I can be holding the product in my hand this way. Let's liken that this my hand towel is a product. And then I swing it this way. You know, people are looking at me. Maybe she was driving, or maybe he was standing and they watch the way I swing the product. Let's take, for instance, I have the product this way. And then they watch, they say, when it comes to packaging, it begins with attitude. Packaging begins with attitude. Branding begins with attitude. There is a branding because there is an attitude we have about the products. There is a branding because of attitude we have about the product. So if this product is going to make it to the top, the behavior solve the difference in your attitude. So whenever they look at your product, they are considering what kind of attitude do they have. So people buy into you. There is how you come on social media to present a product, and people don't want to listen. People don't want to listen. They say, but I've got a great stuff. No, it's not just the stuff, it's just you. You can have a great stuff, but you don't have great you. The great you is as a result of your attitude. When you have a great stuff, have the great you. Because the great you is what is going to do the transaction. The transaction is based on the great you. There are people, unknown to them, they don't have what is called a welcoming personality. There is what is called a welcoming personality. And there is what is called a personality that projects rejection and arrogance. You know, there are ways people could present themselves, it becomes difficult for you to reach them. There is how I can present myself and people can't reach me. And then someone would tell someone, it is difficult to reach Faithman right now. I don't like the way he's behaving. I don't like the way he doesn't pick my calls. He doesn't text me back. He doesn't respond. You know, our attitude is actually the publicity. You want your business to grow, Your attitude is a major publicity. When people can trust you, they can work with you. When people can trust you, they can work with you. So people buy into your attitude. So let's make progress. For people to buy into your business, they watch your expression. Your expression has a lot to say about your product and service. Your expression. For them to buy from you, they watch your expression. Is she a kind of person that is always angry? She easily flare up. He easily flare up. Maybe anger, and you can't do that. You have to have some self-control to control business activities. You need to have some self-control to control business activity. You can truly control business activity when you can manage your emotions. Bad temper can affect a business. You can lose your best of staff, your best of clients because of temper issue. So you need to talk to yourself every day. I don't have anger. I have intelligence. I have wisdom. I have understanding. I'm not controlled by bitterness. I'm not controlled by offense. One day I was, I had the experience, and the same to my wife. Sorry. I decided to buy something from someone, and the guy, let's take for instance, let's just use the US currency to do the illustration. The guy told me the product was going for $10. Then I told him, can't I buy it for $2? And the guy got angry. He was so mad at me. I just offered. We're doing pricing here. You said $10. I said $2. We are bargaining. He got offended. The guy got offended. The product was still with him. I didn't collect the product from him. I didn't snatch the product away. The product was still with him. The guy got mad at me. He was angry. You know why he was angry? Because I didn't price to his expectation. But if he had a good attitude, I can come up to his expectation. When you want people to come up to your expectation, you need to have an attitude that creates the environment. You can't expect people to come into your expectation when you don't have the attitude that can bring them there. You want them to price you high, but do you have the attitude that can bring them to where you want them to be? Because you may use your mouth to run them off. And then you said something like this: please get that from here. This product worth $5. Why will you price me $2? Oh, you just told him how much it cost. He never knew. He never knew that product is not going for $10. Maybe the guy could say to me that product is not going for 5 cents. Well, attitude, I'm bringing him into a place of my expectation. You see, when you have an expectation, it takes right attitude to bring people into your expectation. It takes right attitude to bring people into your expectation, because people buy based on attitude. People demand for services most of the time. But why do you think that most people have stayed with some companies for 10 years, for 20 years, for 25 years? They do the same products. They buy from them all the time. There is something unique about those places. They have attitude that keep this client coming back, or keep these customers coming back again and again, and people keep coming back. They keep coming back. Why are they coming back? There are competitors there. There are other substitute goods there. There are substitute services there. But they choose to keep patronizing this organization because there was something about this organization which is called great attitude. Great attitude. The great you is as a result of a great attitude. I want to say that again. I said the great you is as a result of a great attitude. So we can say in the next 90 days, your organization can go to the next dimension based on you developing professional attitude. And there are possible keys to developing professional attitude. One of the things we need to look at for, before I go into that, I want us to look at who represents your business. Let's take, for instance, you are a CEO of an organization and you have people working for you. Who represents your business? And what attitude do they have? You may have a great attitude as the CEO of the organization, but your personal manager or your personal secretary or someone who represents your organization, your publicity secretary, does she have the attitude that represents the organization? And this is very strategic because some clients may call you back. I don't like the way your staff spoke to me on the phone. You say, how did it happen? And then they explain, and some may not be able to call you, but they are gone. They won't repeat back. They won't come back. They are gone. So it is important who represents you and who represents your product or your service when it comes to negotiation. Why? Because that is the life of the organization. Who represents you? Whoever that represents your organization should be able to have a great attitude that can be able to help people come into the organization, either for buying or for selling or for any form of business transaction that is consistent within the neighborhood of the law. So it's important we know who represents our business. The next thing I want us to look at, if we are going to develop great professional business attitude, number one, what do you want to achieve? This is the first question you need to ask yourself. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? Because what I want to achieve will determine the attitude I need to develop. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? Now, what you want to achieve has to be clear to you. What you want to achieve, maybe in the next 3 months, maybe in the next 1 year, maybe in the next 10 years, maybe in the next 15 years, maybe in the next 5 years. What do you want to achieve? That will lead to the attitude you want to create. Number two, what should be the expectation of our clients or customers towards our business? That's the next question. What would be the expectation of our clients and our customers? What is going to be the expectation towards our business? So when people come into our business place, what should be their expectation? Is it with our attitude, we create their expectation? With our attitude, we create their expectation, which is going to be the basis for dealing with us in business. So you need to look out for that. That's very important. The next one is, what will be the impression that we will leave, that the people will leave with? What is going to be the impression that they will live with? What is going to be the impression? You're dealing with this one. What impression are they going to have about your business? What impression are they going to have about your business? What do you want to achieve? What expectation do you want them to have about you? What impression would they live with? These are strategic questions. When you create products or when you design things, you should design it with this mentality of, if I'm the last consumer, the last person who is to use this product or who is to use this service, how am I going to feel about this product? How am I going to feel about this service? So when you are thinking as a business owner, think for your clients, think for your customers, and think for your competitors. Yeah. You have to think for your customers. You have to think for your competitors. What about if my competitors take advantage of this? What will I do? Well, what about if these guys choose to come into the market and bring in a product that is not of a standard like our product, but they have this publicity, they have this networking? What is the chance that our product is going to survive in the market? So you are thinking for your clients or your customers, and at the same time, you're thinking for your competitors. When you do it that way, it is easy for you to front an attitude towards your business and around you that will keep that business on the cutting edge. that will keep that business on the cutting edge, that will keep that organization on the cutting edge. Let's look at the attitude we need to cultivate. Number one attitude: honesty is the life of business. Honesty is the life of business. Now, we know in the business world that there's a lot of injustice, a lot of unethical attitude in the business world. There's a lot of unethical attitude when it comes to product, when it comes to service. People will prefer to do the shortcuts to be able to maximize more profit, to be able to have more profit. But honesty is the life of business. When people notice honesty, they are willing to pay more. People will pay more for honesty than for deception and manipulation. They will pay more for honesty. They will pay for transparency and integrity. I trust these products. And then what you said the product would do, the product is doing it. It's called honesty with your products. How honest is your product? How honest is your service? So honesty is the life of business. So cultivating honesty. How do I cultivate honesty? Number one, I have to tell myself the truth. I have to tell myself the truth. Number two, I have to understand if that truth is investigated or being investigated or being researched on, it will remain as truth. I have to tell myself the truth. Number two, if they investigate that truth, if they research on that truth, it's going to remain the same. Number three, I have to understand that I win by remaining honest. I win by remaining honest. I win by remaining honest. I'm going to win by remaining honest. So no matter what happened, I just want to be honest. And being honest is a decision. That's number four. For you to develop honesty, it has to be your decision. It's my decision to remain honest. Because when I'm honest, it is easy for me to have what is called boldness. Boldness. A lot of business owners are not bold because there's a lot of shady deals. There are a lot of shady deals, there are a lot of things going behind the scene that is not consistent with the expectation, product expectation, service expectation. They know it's not up to the standard, and they are not bold to define their products either before their clients or their competitors. To cultivate a business attitude, you have to love what you do. You have to love what you do. You see, when you don't love what you do, or we can use the word like, because I like to live love for God. Sorry, let's use the word, you have to like what you do. Let's leave the word love for God. Okay, we love God, we have to like what we do. If you don't like what you do, it will be difficult for you to have strong emotional energy towards it. A strong emotional energy can be perceived by your clients. Your clients can know when you have a high energy level. And your clients can know when your energy level declines. They can tell that, oh my God, she's not at a high energy level. I don't think they're doing what is right. I don't think that what they're doing is because. So understanding is very strategic when it comes to building a business or doing what we're expected to do, because if I don't have understanding, I can't make a great progress. If I don't have understanding, I'm not going to make a great progress. So understanding is the foundation for passion, for continuity and consistency. Understanding. If I don't understand how the business work, I won't have the energy. Energy comes from understanding. That's why sometimes you're trying to convince a person to do something, but because they don't understand it, they don't have the energy for it. Energy will energy is a product of understanding. Energy is a product of understanding. Energy is a product of understanding. So if I want to have energy, then I need to have understanding. To cultivate a great business attitude, I need to have a dress code. Dress code is part of your attitude. How you dress is important. How have you decided to look? There are meetings I want to go into right now. I won't dress on t-shirts. Maybe I may need to do a suit, depending on who I'm talking to, and depending on the clients that I'm dealing with or whoever I'm talking with. There are functions I have to go with what we call native. We'll call it native. Maybe you see me wearing a cloth that is up and down. They're the same color. Maybe it may be like a flower cloth, or maybe whatever cloth that is up and down. We'll call that native. So how you dress will also determine how people approach you and how people perceive you. You see, your actual appearance says a lot about you when it comes to business. Your actual appearance. There are people that won't take you serious based on how you look. So it's important that we begin to understand that people look at you and they consider, is it serious? Is it not serious? Is it serious? Is she not serious? What is going on here? Who is this person? So there has to be a touch of class in our dressing, in our outfits, in how we look, in how we present ourselves. How we present ourselves has a lot to say about our attitude and our business. Then the next attitude we need to cultivate is communication. Communication. What are the dominant words that proceed out of your mouth whenever you talk to people? There are people that want you to be detailed when it comes to communication. They want to hear what you're saying. They don't just want you to be abbreviating things for them. You're writing a business letter. You don't have to abbreviate words. You need to let the word flow. You don't have to abbreviate this if you're to write, let's take for instance, okay? What word am I going to use right now? Let's say in Jesus' name. And I write IJN. That doesn't make sense. I need to write it in Jesus' name. It's a business. I'm doing something. We need to begin to develop a culture of excellence. Even in your spelling, you need to develop a culture of excellence. You can't just spell something and you abbreviate it and then you expect everybody to figure it out. I don't know it. What about if I don't know that IJN is in Jesus' name? So what do? I said, this man is not serious about this business. This woman is not serious. Why would she abbreviate this word? It's part of communication when it comes to business. So you need to develop a culture of excellence when it comes to writing things. Don't abbreviate when it comes to business letters, when it comes to doing your business. Ensure that the reader, you are not there to explain the email. The email should be able to explain you. That's powerful. I like that. You are not there to explain the email. The email is there to explain you. And the email is going to tell them who you are. Yeah, the email is going to tell them who you are. Is it serious? Is it committed? Is it a person of excellence? So the email reveals you. So excellence is important in communicating. So when you communicate, when you talk to people, when you write email, when you try to write things, when you try to say things, ensure that it's polished. Where you make a mistake, you correct it. One of the great proof of success is the ability to keep improving. One of the great proof of success is the ability to keep improving. If you truly want to be strategic in business, you should be able to keep improving. Whether it's an spelling error, in communication error. Many years ago, I knew I was going into communication, so I was taking some serious classes on communication, knowing that I have so much to do. Sometimes people have a great information, but with poor communication skill and poor delivery, and they're not able to deliver according to the expectation of their audience. As your business grow, your communication skill has to grow. Why did I say that? Because you'll be opportune to address people. So maybe one of these days we're going to have a class on public speaking, and maybe I share some things with you about how to do your communication by yourself, how you could be at home and start rehearse, and how you could improve on your communication, because people don't buy until they have heard you. You see, when people hear you, your sound represents a lot of things in their mind. Your sound, how you sound, what comes out of you. So it is important that your communication skill is consistently being improved on, as you can stay at the cutting edge when it comes to dealing with your clients and dealing with your customers, including your competitors. So the last point I'm going to share today, one of the great business attitude is the attitude of listening. How important is this? Wow. Listening. Be more willing to listen than to talk. Listen, just listen. If you're listening, you won't have some lawsuits. If you're listening, you won't have some problems. Listening, you have to cultivate an attitude of patience to be a good listener. You know why? If you don't have patience, you want to control the conversation. Have you ever been in a section with someone who wants to say everything? Have you had that kind of experience before? You want to say something, they are saying something. You want to say something, they are saying something. You want to say something, they are saying something. You want to say something, they are saying something. You are trying to say something, they are saying something. Every time you want to say something, they have said something. They are just controlling the conversation. That is a bad habit. When you have that, you have a problem. You got to fix it. How do you know when you don't listen? You listen. I like to listen a lot. When people are talking, I'm listening to them. Okay. 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 I'm saying, okay. They're talking, I'm saying, okay. I'm listening. Because it's in listening that you have answers. You don't have answers when you don't listen. A lot of marriages ended in divorce because nobody wants to listen. Nobody's listening. She doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to listen. And because people don't listen, they don't have good communication life. Listening is one of the greatest keys of communication, not even talking. You just listen. She has spoken for 30 minutes. You're listening and listening and listening. Now that you're done with listening, then she's quiet. You're able to filter the conversation. How can you be talking at the same time? How do you hear what they're saying? So it's important you listen. And it takes patience to listen. If you don't have patience, you will listen to anyone. You always believe you have the answer. And that is going to be the reason for your downfall or problem. So a great listener sometimes is taking notes. He's listening, he's taking notes. He's taking notes. He's marking all the strategic points. Then he's thinking solution, because listening leads to thinking. I want to say that again. I said listening leads to thinking, and thinking leads to effective communication. Listening leads to thinking, and thinking leads to effective communication. And I believe that if you can begin to listen more, maybe to your clients, sometimes people are saying something about your product and you just listen to them. Don't try to impress yourself. Sometimes just forget about you and think about your customers, think about your clients and see what are their complaints? What are their problems? Can we take some question and answer section? What is their product? What is their problem? Why is this product not doing what it said it's going to do? Why are the people not getting the maximum potential, both in what we told them they were going to experience maximum potential of this product? What is going on? You sit down to think, because as you think, you come up with strategies. As you think, it is in thinking you experience strategy. It is in thinking you develop solutions. It is in thinking that you have ideas to deal with things. You see, we can also call it meditation, but meditation is another dimension of thinking. Because in meditation, hello, can you hear me? Okay, good. You heard my last conversation? Chuck, you heard my last conversation?
If you heard parts of it, you might want to go back through a little bit, because the last thing you were talking about was just listening. So you've been gone for about a minute and a half.
Well, that you hearing me? Okay. Okay. Well, okay, for 2 minutes. Okay, you didn't hear me for 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, for 2 minutes, we were talking about thinking. We said that thinking is very important when it comes to effective communication. If you're going to be a person who is effective in communicating with others, you have to be a great thinker. You see, when people are talking to you and you're not listening, it is an indication that you're not part of the communication. So communication works well when we listen. And I said that meditation is another dimension of thinking. I said that meditation is another dimension of thinking. So if you're going to be effective, if you're going to be productive as a business leader, sometimes you need to ask your clients, is this product doing what it said it's going to do? What is happening? Are you getting some feedback? Are you getting some results? What is happening? You're able to ask questions. You know, when you see, when people understand that you care for them, it is easy for them to invest into your organization. When they understand that you care for them, when they understand that you are part of them. So it is important you think. It is also important that you process your thoughts. As you be able to have solution for people. Sometimes someone is talking, but you are not hearing because you're also trying to say something at the same time. So for you to be an effective communicator, you have to be a great listener. So listening is strategic in building a great business ideas. In listening, we'll receive strategy. There's a lot of strategy we'll receive. We'll begin to listen. You know, someone could be saying something right now, and while she was talking, I was able to receive some strategy as a result of listening to her. She was talking, I was listening to her, and I'm able to receive some strategy of what to do. So thinking is critical in building your business life. It's a great attitude for CEOs to become involved in thinking. Like I said, that meditation is a higher version or a higher dimension of thinking. So as a business leader, thinking is important. Why you think your information, you process conversation, and you process to help you build. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this time we have shared together. It's my pleasure. I've enjoyed this moment, and I want to say a very big thank you. I'll hand it over to Chuck. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah, no problem. And just, hey, we appreciate everybody coming. It's going to be once a month, like we said. And this is a collaboration too. We'd love your ideas on what you think. This is not just about, we're going to learn some awesome principles for how to conduct ourselves, but also it's a place to collaborate and talk and maybe ask questions. So as we go through the next month, if you can either message me at Charles Castor That's my Facebook name, Charles, Kastor. And let me know some of your ideas, too, of what you would love to see come out of this. I would appreciate that. And I know Apostle Faithman would appreciate that. And also just remember that we also have Zoom Church on Sundays at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also that there's an opportunity to go to finishworktv.com. Finishworktv.com is a place where a lot of different recordings from Apostle Faithman are that you can check out. Amazing. There's an amazing library there. You might be surprised when you go. So we encourage you to go to Finish Work TV Live. There's also a place where you can give there if you are inclined to do that. And we look forward to seeing everybody next month. We'll put a flyer out to kind of tell you when it's going to be on a date very soon so you can plan it in for the following month. And we'll give you some leeway on that. So we'll put that out in the next day or two as far as the date for the next Kingdom Marketplace Fellowship. And we appreciate everybody coming.